Yeah.
But when did you start, actually? When did you start learning Japanese itself? 2000...
19.
Oh, wow. When did you start to listen to my podcast?
1年前に
Oh, okay. 1年前なんだ。
Maybe, yeah, so maybe 2019, I started studying in Shigatsu. And then Azumi's Easy Japanese podcast. That was Easy Japanese Small Talk was last year in September. Yeah.
Oh, そうなんだ。Yeah.
So about halfway through my Japanese learning experience, I found your content.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
I don't know. Oh, okay. So, but 1 year ago, like how was my content? I think that must be very challenging because.
Yes, for me it was challenging. So okay, actually, I want to start talking. Well, if I start talking about this, I'll start bringing up some of the stuff I used. Is that okay?
Okay, hold on. Okay, let's see. Let's then. Okay, let's do the next topic.
Oh, okay.
So what would you bring up?
Okay. So maybe 1年前に I was like, so I found a YouTube video. And it was from the YouTube channel Matt versus Japan.
Matt versus Japan. All right.
So, and if you are a Japanese learner and you want some motivation, you should check out Matt versus Japan because Matt, his Japanese is perfect.
Perfect Japanese.
Azumi, did you watch him?
I don't think so. No.
Okay.
Because otherwise I would remember.
His Japanese is perfect. Like Japanese people, if they talk to him on the phone, they think he is Japanese. So he went to Japan when he was in high school because he had interest in Japan.
Okay.
But he didn't have a good experience because he didn't understand anything. And I'm shortening the story, but long story short, he decided to get good at Japanese. So what he did is he listened to nothing but Japanese media for years, like 3 or 4 or 5 years, only Japanese. He did not watch any English TV. He did not listen to English podcasts. He did not watch English movies, only Japanese.
Wow.
And through that,
5 years.
It was a long time. It was like 3 or 4 years.
Wow. Okay. Then.
So throughout that time, he was creating Anki decks.
Right.
And Anki is a spaced repetition system. And for those of you who don't know what a spaced repetition system is, it's kind of just a smart flashcard deck. And you can use it for anything. You can use it for Japanese. You can use it for Spanish. You could use it for chemistry.
Right.
Yeah. And so it'll show you a flashcard and you will say whether or not you knew the content. And if you do, it will space out the time you will see it. It'll make a longer interval for the next time you see it. And if you don't understand the card, it will show it to you in a shorter interval. So that way, the stuff you know, you will see less, and the stuff you don't know, you will see more. And it's like an optimal way of learning, apparently. So Matt, he would watch Japanese media, and he would take sentences from anime or sentences from movies, and he would make Anki flashcards out of those sentences. And he called it sentence mining. And
sentence mining.
Yeah, so he was like looking through media, finding the sentences he wanted to study, and he mined them. and then he would memorize them through Anki. And that way, if he ever heard somebody use a grammar point or like a grammar structure that he's studied before through the sentences, he could remember like, oh, I heard that sentence in that anime and this is what this means. And it would make that connection faster so he could understand more. Because in order to understand a language, you basically need to hear it and understand it instantly.
Right.
Because you don't have time to go, oh, he just said instantly. What does instantly mean? Because then by the time you think for 30 seconds, by the time you remember the word, they've already talked for 30 more seconds and you don't know what they said.
Like 速攻で
Yes. And so through this system of listening to nothing but Japanese and studying Anki decks, Matt was able to get to a very high level of Japanese very quickly. And I've kind of condensed his story, but that really inspired me to listen to more Japanese. Because one year ago, I was barely listening to Japanese. I would only listen to English podcasts, and I would mostly watch English TV on Netflix. So that's when I went to the podcast store, and that's when I found your podcast, and that's when I found other wonderful Japanese language content.
Oh, so Matt opened up your door.
Yeah, his story motivated me. Now, to be fair, I tried Anki, and I know Matt had success with Anki, but I think an important thing about language learning is to have fun. And me watching anime and pausing the anime and copying the sentence and putting it into Anki is not fun.
Not for you. Okay.
Not for me. Maybe Matt had a lot of fun, but that is not fun for me.
I totally agree. Yeah.
So I don't use Anki, but I do listen to Japanese as much as possible.
All right, that's a great story. I'm so inspired for my German learning actually because I don't much listen to German and
you have to.
Yeah, thank you. Today